Hello and welcome back to All the Mods 9. Over the last 10 episodes, we have made a lot of progress towards the All the Mods star, including a lot of automations. Automating of mechanism, passive resources using deep mob learning, and mystical agriculture, and even having the craft for 3 of the All the Mods star pieces. We've done quite a bit in this world, and today we are updating quite a bit of this. This is actually me from the future re-recording the intro because I wasn't happy with it, so I'm avoiding some spoilers around the base. I want to thank you for watching so far. I've been having a lot of fun making this series. I'll let you back to the video now. As you can see, we're walking into the AE2 crafting room, and that is because we have a little bit of updates to do here. Someone on the last video commented that I can make the extended versions of these, and they're just better. How I didn't know this is a crime, but we can just make these patterns real quick. Toss them in our terminal, and then we can search up extended, if I can spell it right, and I can cook up like... How many do we have? So I think I need 64 of each. Yeah, this is going to take a while with the processors. So actually, before we update that, let's move on to the other part of this game, this episode that I wanted to do. Fill out this wall. Now, I do have a plan for this side of the wall, and that is actually do something that I've been meaning to do for a while and just honestly kept forgetting to do. This inscriber setup here is not fast enough. That's because it gets stuck in the extended subscriber. It's really weird. We're gonna go back to using the normal inscriber, or I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'm gonna to clear this out. Now that this is cleared out a little bit, I do need to change a few things. First of all, this cable needs to become dense, and hopefully that still connects up. Yes, it does. There we are. So the extended inscriber, I plan on having 1 per processor, and there's 4. There is 4 processors, including this accumulation one, which I may as well grab. I'll set it up, but I don't have the Singularity yet. This will be this episode though, and I will really quickly grab, let's say 7. Alright, with the 7 inscribers, I can line them up like that. I didn't really think this through, so I think I don't need 7, I need 11. I need 11. Alright, I am back a little bit later. All I'm doing now is crafting up some acceleration cards. And I've got all of these set up. The only difference that I made is that I just separated these into separate inscribers. And then for all the presses, I have 4 of each, except for the new one that I don't have yet. I will come back to you later when I get to singularities. And I did my math wrong, somehow. I didn't do my math wrong. I did do my math wrong. I don't know why I'm flipping back and forth on it. Logic, silicon, calculation, engineering, and then the new one I think is assimilation, accumulation. So yeah, there's actually only 4 actual processors, but there's 5 circuits. So these 2 I'm just going to designate as like inscriber recipes, like DUS, like this bottom one I have for all the DUS. So yeah, that is all of that. I filled in this gap here. Back here, it's the same setup pretty much. It's just back of the inscriber outputted back into the pattern provider once it's done. And I have this dense cable going around the bottom here. It goes up to 17 channels. I could add another layer, but I think I'm done. I think it's an alright setup. Not the most space efficient, but hey, that's not what I'm going for here. So that is that done, which means we can move on to switching out all of the providers and assemblers. Alright, I am back, and I have updated all of these, as you saw in that little montage there. These essentially just give 4 times the amount of patterns, and I think the molecular assemble works twice as fast, and has, oh my, that's a lot of crafting jobs. And they have 8 crafting jobs each, I suppose. Wow. So if I actually just go into the terminal, head over to the pattern terminal, you can just see how much, it's comically large. What the hell? So that's probably overkill for a little bit. I could probably just end the room here, actually, but I'll leave it like this until I know that I'm done. Over here, I did this off camera. I don't think I ever showed these, but I basically just made alternating 64K and co-processors and a storage monitor up here. I got 2 of them. This is usually enough for everything. I might make more depending on how much crafting I need, but 2 is usually enough for me. And down here, I can show you the other thing I did over that. I updated the charging array. I had this one down here, which I can actually just take apart there, and I mean, like, it's just the same thing, right? It's these are extended chargers. These charge up to 4 things at once. So if I craft up like 100 charged Certus, see, they charge 4 at once, and I got 8 of them. This should mean that that goes by insanely fast. Whoops. I forgot that I can't go through that one now. Basically back here, item pipes going up, outputting into the pattern provider. Down here, pattern provider has the pattern, outputs it into this chest, which is then exported through these ultimate pipe, these universal pipes, into the bottom, and exports power from this flux point into the bottom as well. Very simple setup, no need to continue talking about that. Next on my list is actually the Singularity. On this episode, I want to get the Nexium emitter, or as much of it as possible. Probably won't get this gravitating module unit, but I can get the rest of it, I think. But we're going to start with the Singularity. It needs a matter condenser. There we go. Now, I'll be honest, I have no clue what the matter condenser actually does. Seems like the only thing I care about this doing is I need to make mass quantities of something, so I assume something like maybe a sink will work. So like if I guess I'll test it back here. If I just like do that, does it take water? Yeah. Seems sinks works. That's probably going to be the easiest way to do it, but it's not exactly fast. So let's take a little bit. Hold on. I guess I can carve out this wall, huh? Well, I finished building the Singularity setup, and wow, this is, I mean, it doesn't look good, but hey. Basically, all I have is 15 pipes down the middle, three rows of 5, and sinks on either side, connected with ultimate pipe grades on each side. So each of them has 30 ultimate pipe upgrades, which makes them actually really fast, like insanely fast. So like just in the time of building this, I already have 2 stacks. And I got 4 of them because I didn't think it would be this fast, but hey. I'm not going to go and change this. Oh, it's all on round robin already. All right. I'm going to make a little bit of an addition to see. All right. With a little bit of an addition, I basically just added another matter condenser up here. More storage components, but these are making matter balls. Now, these aren't actually that important. I just wanted these here in case I ever wanted them for anything. Like, I might want the paint. But that's probably the only thing I'd ever want. Plus, I think it is a quest. Yeah. Part of the quest, and then I need to compress it all, but I don't need it. I don't need that part yet. I just need the Singularity. So that's actually the first part of this episode already done. Fantastic. All right, with the Singularities done, we can actually move on to the next part of the Nexium emitter. Now, I'm trying to get the easy stuff off the list, and I think the easiest one here, maybe not cheapest, I think the player transmitter can be done pretty easily. I think we actually have everything for it, because, I mean, all it needs is nitro, which I did add, because I already have the stuff for it. The problem is, I don't know if this is going to be fast enough. Hey, we'll try. All I have to do is set up all the crafting recipes. Alright, over here at the really loud mob farm I left here, we're going to get the last thing we need to actually craft up here, and that is to use an aerial pearl, which is just this recipe, not that hard, on a zombie. Okay, let's get out while we still can. Get out. There we go. Close that up and forget this ever existed. This player aerial pearl is used for the player transmitter all the way at the bottom, at the starter. And there's no way to automate this as far as I know, unless I use maybe a user, but I don't know. I wouldn't know anything. We don't need too many of those, so I can just manually get whatever we need. Other than that, everything is just a waiting game waiting on the Energizer. And if I put up the craft, as you can see, it's going. You can't even see the lights from the new Nitro ones that I just installed. That was fast. And there we go, player transmitter. So we can, let's encode the Nexium emitter so we can see how much we have done at any given moment. So we have the Singularity, we have the player transmitter, we have, well, we don't have the Nexium emitter yet. The end exchanger I can knock it out of the park here, I think, as well. Now I think I have everything in, and I can craft up the end exchanger. Why can't it craft the netherite? Okay, I managed to get it to work, but I think it's an MBT issue. Again, not that important. I just have to replace this recipe with the actual one, because it was crafting these and then not able to craft it because this netherite exchanger wouldn't match with that one. Listen, man, is annoying. Whatever. Again, it's not something we need a lot of anyways, and it didn't actually properly. This is a dumb system, but whatever. That is the netherite exchanger done, which means for this episode at least, it's just the universal grid or terminal, the railgun, and the arm. Because I'm not going to get this modulating unit yet, mostly because of this antimatter pellet for the chemical crystallizer. This requires a lot further progress in the mechanism than I am right now. So this might be next episode, but this is a full episode's worth, I guarantee it. And with that, I have crafted up the universal terminal. Just taking a little bit for the inscriber over here. And there we go. There's universal terminal. And that's most of it. Now, the last two things I need to do this episode is progress in immersion engineering enough to get the railgun and to set up all the mechanisms for create so that I can get the mechanical arm, because that's the only thing I'm missing. So this episode's actually going to be, I assume, a shorter one. I'm not entirely sure. So I gotta figure out which one I'm gonna do first. Alright, I have decided on what is next. I'm actually gonna make a quick little detour. Now, I was just told about in the comments that I can make these charms unbreakable. I didn't know about this, but hey, at least this means that I don't have to do the whole Eternal Stella type thing. Yet, at least. It does mean that I do have to make one more addition to this infusion setup. Alright, I was actually going to cut to a quick little montage of building it over here, but then I just realized the requirements are the same as the ender, so this should just infuse it. Well, that was easy. And now that's permanent flight, as long as this is in my inventory. Put that up there. Perfect. And I didn't show it off last episode, but this chest just leads to the chest in the Apotheosis Gem Farm on the right side of the enchantment library thing. So this is just an extractor, that way I can enchant, throw it in here, extracts the enchantment, and it goes straight to the library. And that's all we have to do back up here, back to the actual episode. Alright, back down here, I've decided the next thing we are going to do is, well, expand the create hall and finish up the mechanisms so that we can craft the arm. I'm going to make the recipe here, and the only thing we're actually missing is the precision mechanisms, which I thought were more important. Wait, I'm a bit confused. Is this the only mechanism? I think that's literally the only mechanism. Okay, sure, fine, whatever. That just means that I don't have to do much in here then. I think I'm gonna make it over here, and I mean, I may as well make it halfway decently well productive. Well, there's our first problem, actually. I forgot that this was here. This just means I have to put it on the other side. This wall is basically just going to be for crafters. In fact, yeah, actually, I'm going to need these crafts anyways, so. Alright, that's the basic crafter done. Now on to the actual setup. Alright. I finished up making the precision mechanism. I cut out a little bit at the end there because I spent so long doing this. First, we're going to go over the easy part. Gold plates. The start of the precision mechanism means that we need to put gold plates into this. So all I have is an export bus back here, exporting gold, press plate, bringing it over, and I'm only stacking 64 because I have no other use for gold plates at this moment. That's all. Super simple. Don't really care about gold plates, so this is just what it's going to be. All we need to talk about that for. Gold plates are obviously coming from the other... What is producing gold plates, actually? Oh, right. The gold is actually coming from over here? Yeah, Deep Mob Learning. crafts our gold. So that's already on craft. No need to produce the essence and craft it in. So that's that. This brings up a lot of bulk because there's 64 in each of these, or 96. Oh well, whatever. We have enough gold anyways. Over here, I built this crafter. This is what the inside looks like. Just all the recipes, and remember so that they don't overflow of one certain item. And then on the back, there is a item pipe piping into a storage controller connected to all three of these. These are all stocking 512. Not really a need to do 512, but you know, they're cheap enough that I may as well have it on hand. Now for the hard part. I'm so sorry. This isn't my proudest build. I will tell you that right now. As you can see, we have 5 different deployers. The way the mechanism works is we need to repeat this process 5 times, right? So 5 deployers. We start on the inside here. I'll show the inside. I'm trying to delay it because this reminds me of early Factorio gaming, where you don't really do any sorting. You just sort of place stuff. This is easily my worst build and probably going to end up being my laggiest. But whatever. Well, who cares, right? It's not that big a deal. This giant mess starts with, if I can grab my size changer, over here. Just barely small enough to get through these. Starting here, we have gold plates being exported into the bottom of this belt. This runs through process once. This emitter just says if I have more than 200 precision mechanisms, this, with the redstone card, will stop. Redstone on, machine on. It's usually what I go for. Thank you, threefold. Which means that this is only going to emit when it's below 200 and I want to keep producing precision mechanisms. What'll happen is if I come through here, the gold plate will go through here. Actually, I can just show this. So gold plates will go through here, run through the process, come through this funnel, go through here into this chest, which I tried to do this with Create and use these funnels to filter, but the filters don't actually care about MVT data for some reason. So I used pipes. Up top here, I have, nope, actually to the right here, I have filtered each for each different step. So 3 is the first 3 goes. This will come down here, go across, and it'll come back all the way to the bottom here, where 3 will go across, go back, filtered through another set of those pipes, come through here, same again to here, and then the final one goes through here, finishes here, goes right back into this chest, which I have advanced void on, overflow, and then stack upgrades in case whatever. And then I have the finished precision mechanism and all of the junk that you can sometimes get. There's a 20% chance of just getting junk, which is annoying, but whatever. I have that inputted to this storage controller, which is only connected to this drawer out front, holding this precision mechanisms. There's a storage bus on the bottom. Now, everything else goes down here. This pipe is on nearest first, so it should prioritize the controller, but the precision mechanisms are connected anyway, so hopefully there shouldn't be too much of a deal with that. Otherwise, all the junk will just go in here and go straight into my AE2 system, which I don't really care about. It'll probably be fine. I mean, a lot of it is stuff we're storing already, like cogwheels, alloys, gold plates, the raw gold, and the clocks are kind of useless, but it's whatever. We'll be fine, I think. Close that up, and that is this monstrosity complete. This took me a while. This took me like 3 hours just to actually finally figure out the proper way to do it. I hate this thing. This thing sucks. But with that, I can finally craft the mechanical arm, and that is yet another piece of the Nexium emitter complete. Still just missing the gravitational modulating unit and the next part of this episode, and probably the final, the railgun from Immersive Engineering. Alright, actually, I think we're just going to end the episode there, and next episode we'll go ahead and do Immersive Engineering and the mechanism progression for the Nexium emitter. So I wanted to cut this short because I still want this to come out on Sunday. It's currently Sunday morning, and I feel like the immersive engineering and the mechanism could be its own episode. But yeah, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day, and I will see you in the next episode of All the Mods 9.